This article by French and Goodwin examines the current and future state of human resources management at the local government level. Numerous reform initiatives have taken place in the field of human resource management over the past few decades. New technologies, processes, and best practices have allowed the field to supplement and even replace conventional methods as human resources management at all levels of government work to supplant outdated systems, overcome staffing shortages, and solve recruitment and compliance challenges. An increased emphasis on performance and results-oriented government services has highlighted the need for public organizations to develop effective human capital strategies that enhance government performance and accountability. Human resource management professionals today face a significant number of challenges as they continue to manage public employees in a rapidly changing environment that includes an aging workforce, increased competition from employees from the private and nonprofit sectors, increased outsourcing, and the removal of civil service protections. The human resource strategies crafted by human resource management professionals play a crucial role in navigating the growing legislative, policy, and technological changes that are required by the increased emphasis on performance and results-oriented government service. Reforms in work design, performance appraisal, training, compensation, recruitment and selection, and labor management relations have been implemented and are ongoing in the field's continued effort to transcend the changing nature of public service. New public management and other reforms converging on performance and accountability have greatly affected the human capital role in public service provision as their increased focus on results requires managers to have greater flexibility over their fiscal and human resources. New public management is based on the premise that market-oriented management of the public sector will lead to greater cost efficiency for governments without having negative side effects on other objectives and considerations. The new public management movement began in the late 70s and early 80s. Its first practitioners emerged in the United Kingdom under Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, and in the municipal governments in the U.S., such as Sunnyvale, California, that had suffered most heavily from economic recession and tax revolts. The movement then spread to New Zealand and Australia. Their successes put new public management administrative reforms on the agenda of most OECD countries and many other nations as well. Primary attributes of new public management include budget cuts, the idea of vouchers, greater accountability for performance, efforts toward privatization, decentralization of authority, a reliance on performance measurement tools, competition for resources, strategic planning and management, and a focus on customers. In 2001, Stephen Hayes and Richard Kearney published an article in the journal Public Administration Review that extended the reinventing government idea. They suggested that a reinvented public personnel administration emphasizing increased management discretion, increased flexibility and responsiveness, performance, and private sector tools was on the horizon as technological innovations, political pressures, private sector approaches, and other changes pushed for a more proactive and involved human resources management function. This article revisits those functions and activities 10 years after the 2001 article. Over the past several years, public administration has endeavored to become more businesslike in its processes and procedures to meet the demands of a citizenry that has exhibited a renewed interest regarding financial, policy, and performance concerns at all levels of government. The changing nature of work in public sector organizations requires a new emphasis on human capital management to support and improve the public entity's operational and strategic objectives. Al Gore's National Performance Review from 1993 criticized the existing regulations in modern personnel systems that prevented public managers from focusing on efficient performance. The National Public Review's recommendations included reforms that would deregulate, decentralize, and simplify personnel systems, and also included provisions to reward productive employees and more easily discipline low-performing individuals. The Winter Commission from 1993 also found fault with modern civil service systems at the state and local levels of government. Several recommendations were made by the Winter Commission for deregulating rule-based personnel systems, including halting written tests for hiring and promotion, expanding the applicant pool beyond the rule of three, reducing veterans' preferences, reducing the number of classified positions, moving to pay banding, implementing pay for performance, promoting diversity, eliminating bumping, easing termination requirements, implementing binding arbitration, and instituting cooperative labor management relationships, to name just a few. Private sector influence has endeavored to give public sector politicians and managers greater managerial latitude over personnel decisions through decentralization and deregulation. Many of the reinventing government ideas in public human resource management have focused on bureaucratic rules and procedures, labor management cooperation, employee training and assistance, and hierarchical organizational design and structures.